so the subject is fiqh. So put this in the margin. What does fiqh mean?
What does begin with?
No one knows what fiqh means in the whole class. That's terrible.
I just can't remember.
Okay, write in brackets the meaning.
What do you write?
Rules, law.
Oh yeah, I knew that.
Okay, so fiqh is everything to do with rules and laws in Islam. So what's halal, what's haram, what breaks your salah, what breaks your wudu,
Arsenal.
fara'id, everything like that. Okay, so today's lesson is about qasr. Okay, who knows what qasr means? Anyone come across it? Have any idea what it means?
No.
Okay, so this lesson to do with salah. You know when you go travelling, what do you do to your salah?
You do that.
You shorten, isn't it? Have you guys studied the rules of shortening prayer? When to shorten it, when you can't shorten it?
Like,
It
wasn't like studying it, but we know it all.
How many miles do you need to travel until you're allowed to
I
shorten your
think
prayer?
it's like more than 5 miles.
No,
5 miles, isn't
isn't it? It's
Like 20.
There's 60.
I thought it was 65.
Okay,
Or
so
70.
so we'll come to that. And which salah is you allowed to shorten? Is it every salah?
No.
Is it Zuhra, Asr, and Isha?
Okay, so you guys have some sort of knowledge on it. Okay, that's good. Okay, so let's write this down. So qasr means to shorten. Okay, that's literally what the word qasr means.
Short.
Means to shorten. Everyone got that? Okay, now the next sentence is very important and you have to write it down exactly as it is. Okay. A person who plans to travel
He plans to travel
more than 48 miles
Oh yeah. Mile per hour.
away from the boundary of his city will perform qasr salah.
Of his city performs
Will perform qasr salah.
That's it.
One more sentence.
No way.
I started.
Yep.
So when you like pray Qasr Salah, isn't it like you can only do that it's to a certain time?
Okay, we're going to come to all the rules. We're going to discuss all the rules. Everything will be covered. Let's get this written down first.
Yoni.
A person who intends to stay at the destination
Can we say earlier?
a person who intends to stay at the destination for less than 15 days will also praise qasr salah. Full stop.
Really, also.
Yeah. That's it. Okay, so all the rules basically will be, we're going to understand it from this one. So a person who plans to travel more than 48 miles away from the boundary of his city will perform qasr salah. Full stop. A person who intends to stay at the destination for less than 15 days will also pray qasr salah. So all the rules that we need to know is more or less in this paragraph. And there's going to be a few other rules, side rules we're going to learn as well. Yeah.
So if you you stay at someone's house and then you only plan to lesson.
Okay, let me explain it first and then all the questions will be answered. Let me explain it first. Yeah? Okay, so now let's go through this together. A person who plans to travel, this is very important. Okay, so imagine us. Let's say we're going from here to Manchester, or which is more than 48 miles. And I'm going to explain this in a minute. Okay, so a person who plans to travel for more than 48 miles, does that mean he's already traveled 48 miles?
No.
No. So the condition when you're allowed to do qasr soon as you plan to travel. You don't have to have traveled 48 miles. Many people think, okay, I can't do qasr because I haven't traveled 48 miles yet. Only after 48 miles I'll do qasr. But that's not the condition. When you intend to travel for more than 40 miles, you can do qasr. Like for example, today I'm going from Chatham to Manchester. Have I planned to do more than 48 miles of journey?
No.
Yeah.
Why did you say no? Manchester is more than 48 miles away. It's like more than 100 miles away.
I didn't know that.
Okay, do you understand? So I've planned to go to Manchester. So okay, I've done the first part, which is more than 48 miles. Some scholars, they say, it's 54 miles. There's actually a difference of opinion here. So that's why in some books you'll find it's 54 miles, some books will say 48 miles. So I generally just go with the 48 miles. But I'll just put 54 in brackets. You don't have to write it down.
Can we?
If you want, you can. Okay, so a person who plans to travel more than 48 miles away from the boundary of his city. Okay, so now this is very important. Boundary of his
What does that mean?
city. I'm going to explain it. Okay, so now let's say I plan to go from Chatham to Manchester. And let's say it's Isha time now. Can I pray 2 rakats of Isha? So you shorten the prayer, isn't it? From 4 it becomes 2. So can I pray 2 rakats of Isha in my house and then set off on my journey? Or must I pray 4 rakats?
You have to pay for a car because you have
That'll be 2.
Who thinks I can pray 2 rakats in God? Who thinks I must pray 4 rakats in God? Okay. The answer is, I have to pray 4 rakats. Okay? Because the reason is, a person who plans to travel more than 48 miles away from the boundary of his city. Okay, so what it means by boundary of the city is, I can only start doing qasr when I've left the boundary of my city. Because let's say you're still in your city. Are you considered a traveller?
No.
No.
No. Because this is a traveller salah, isn't it? A traveller prays, shortens the salah. So if I'm still in my house, am I a traveller?
No.
No. Only when I leave the boundary of my city, I can be considered a traveller. That's why, let's say, why I don't pray Isha at my house, I wait till I leave Medway, let's say. Chatham's a bit too small, so we consider as Medway as our boundary. So let's say as soon as I leave Medway, I can park up somewhere in let's say service station, pray my Isha Salah 2 rakats. Because now I'm technically a traveller, I'm outside of my home area, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone got that?
Yeah.
So can I pray 2 rakats at my house?
No.
No, I must pray
4.
4 rakats. Everyone understood that?
Yeah, I got a question.
Yeah.
How do you do namaz if you're in a car?
Okay, I'll answer that question another time. Let's just go through this because...
If you want to see.
and you shouldn't be praying in the car. You can't. You have to pull up. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Another thing... Okay, so let's continue. Another side rule that you need to understand is, we said how long does the journey need to be? 48 miles, isn't it? At least 48 miles.
Or 54.
Okay, so I'm going to rub a bit of this out.
When were you going to London and it's like, so no.
Okay, so imagine this blue is my house.
Bruh.
Yeah? That's my house. And the boundary of my city is, let's say, over here.
Jeez.
And then let's say my destination is over here.
Edinburgh.
Yeah?
Jamaica.
That's my destination. That house over there, this house. Let's say from my house, can everyone see the board?
Yeah.
Let's say from my house, the distance is 48 miles. But from the boundary of the city, it's 40 miles. Okay. So now, will I be considered as a traveller? Have I travelled enough to be considered a traveller?
No, because you haven't hit the boundary. You're not outside the boundary.
Will I be a traveller? Who thinks I'll be a traveller? Because look, from my house to the destination is 48 miles.
What?
Who thinks I won't be a traveller? Okay, that's the correct answer. Because while you're still in your hometown, are you considered a traveller?
No.
No, so your travelling technically starts once you leave the boundary of a city. So you have to look at the distance from here until the destination. And here it's only 40 miles. So I'll pray my full salahs all the way. Does that make sense? Any questions on that? Everyone understood that?
So if you can't do...
Stop.
Okay, so let me take this.
So if you can't do salah in a car, you have to do outside.
Yeah, you have to.
Even if it's a stop and it's
Yeah,
like...
you have to park anywhere and do salah. You can't do it in a car.
My dad was
Not
Okay,
while you're
you
driving, but like, can you sit in the car and pray
No.
once it's stopped, pulled over?
How come you can't do it in the car?
Okay, we'll go through that. That's not to do with this. We'll go through another day.
Kinda.
Okay,
It's kinda
okay, go on, Omar.
because it's like named to
Diabetes.
It said from the boundary to the destination.
Yeah.
But what if you take like a different route? Didn't it say 48 miles from your house? What if you take like a longer route? Does it still have to be 48 miles from your house, or how much you drive? How
Okay.
long you,
Okay, that's a very good question. So let's say this is my house and I'm going to my destination. Here is 40 miles. But let's say I take a route which is like this. So I take this route over here and I go like this. So I leave my house this way and I go through another weird motorway. It goes all the way like that and goes all the way like that. Which is 50 miles in total. Yeah? 50 miles. I will be considered as a traveller. So it depends on how much you travel. So it's not about your route in a straight line, it's about how much you technically travel outside of your city. Does that make sense? So you will be a traveller. So if I take this route, I'll be a traveller. If I take this route, I won't be a traveller. So it's all about the route that you take, yeah.
What if someone, they decide to do like, so they start getting lost before they get there, and then they just go in circles and circles around, and it adds up to a mile, and then they become a traveller? Will it work?
Okay, so that goes back to this. A person who plans to travel. So did they plan to travel for more than 48 miles?
No.
No. Yeah, so your answer goes back to this definition that you made you write down. That's why this is a very important definition. So even if a person travels the entire world looking for his phone, for example, but he doesn't intend to travel the entire world, he's just looking for his phone, he still won't be considered traveller. You have to have the intention of travelling. Yeah.
I'll start. What if you're like travelling to a place, and then you don't intend to stop, but then you stop and pray?
That's fine. So you look at your final destination when you're going. So let's say I'm going from my house to my destination. So I set out from travelling here, and I stop over here to pray salah, yeah? And then I continue. That doesn't matter. I look at my final destination, how many miles it is, not what I've done in between. So even, let's say in between, I can stop over here, visit my aunties over here, visit them over there, and then go. It doesn't matter. Just my final destination, how much I intend to travel. Is it 40 miles or not? Does that make sense? And generally, if you take these sort of routes, you travel more than 40 miles, isn't it? Because you're going from so many different places. So you'll end up being a traveller. Any other questions on this? Okay. Yeah.
I was gonna say, well, if you plan to like visit your cousin and then go to the final destination, is the final destination still where it ends? But you intend to stop at their house.
Yeah, it's all about the final destination, where the furthest point that you're going. Yeah, so that's how you calculate it according to the furthest point that you're going. Does that make sense? Okay, so now let's see. So now we've discussed leaving the house. So you start calculating from the border of your city, and then depends on the route that you take, isn't it? So now we're going to talk about when you actually arrive at your destination. What's the rule? Hamza, you listening?
Yeah.
Okay, so now this is the next part of the what we wrote down. So you guys need to concentrate. A person who intends to stay at the destination for less than 15 days will also pray Qasr Salah. Let's say I'm going to Manchester, so I'm going from here to Manchester, and I'm going to stay there for 10 days. my whole 10 days in Manchester, will I pray full salah or will I pray shortened salah? Shortened salah. What if I stayed there for 14 days? What if I stayed for 15 days?
Long.
I'll pray the full salah into the 4 rakats.
Well, only if you intended to stay there for more than 14.
Yeah, so that's not about my intention, isn't it? So I know I'm going to go to Manchester, stay there for 15 days. Yeah.
So you know, what if you go there, you stay there for 16 days, but it's like say 100 miles away. What about the journey there? Do you pray short and slow on the journey there?
Okay, good question. So that was answered over here, away from the boundary of the city. So as soon as you leave the boundary of your city, you can start shortening your salahs, all the salahs.
Yeah, but you're going to stay there outside your city for more than 15 days.
Okay, yeah, so, okay, good question. So let's say I'm going from here to Manchester, and I'm going to stay in Manchester for a month, yeah? Is that your question?
Yeah.
Okay, so the answer is, during the journey, I'll be a traveller. Once I arrive in Manchester, where I need to go, then as soon as I arrive there, I won't be a traveller anymore, because now I'm settled down. Yeah? Does that make sense? So that's a good question. So during the journey, I'll be a traveller. When I get to Manchester, when I'm going, I've made intention to stay here for a month now, so I'm no longer a traveller anymore. So it's only a traveller that gets to shorten the salah. If you're a resident, you don't get to shorten your salah. Does that make sense? Sorry? Not president, resident. Okay, I actually should have made you write this down before, I forgot. So that, the key words that you need to know in this is, so I want you to write this down now. Musafir. You know what Musafir means?
Mustafi.
Okay, Musafir in Arabic is the word traveller. I need to know all these words, by the way. So if I test you, if I give you a test on salah, these keywords will be in there.
Mustafi
Musafir. So you need to look at the board, Daniel, so you write it correctly.
equals traveller.
Next word is muqim. Muqim is a resident.
How do you spell it?
For president.
And the last one is, okay, qasr, we've written that down, isn't it? So these are just these 2 words you need to know. Okay, musafir and muqim. So these are the 2 words I'm going to be using often. Okay, Samir, let's say I'm going from here to London, which is about 30 miles. Will I be a musafir on my journey? No. Danielle, what if I go from here to North London, which is, let's say,
Tottenham.
right at the top of North London, and I'm going to take a weird route, so it's going to take me about 50 miles. Will I be a musafir?
50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on my journey, will I shorten all my salahs?
Yeah. If you're staying for no.
No, I'm not staying for that. I'm going to stay in North London for like 5 hours. I'm going to come back. So on my journey, will I shorten my salahs?
Yeah.
What if I'm going to stay in North London for 20 days because they're my relatives? On my journey, will I shorten the salahs?
No.
Is that correct?
No,
Still
short.
No, like when you come back.
I'm talking about my journey, so listen to the question. So on my journey there, will I shorten my salahs?
Yeah, Ben, if you come back, and you can't shorten it a lot because you went there more than 20 days.
Okay, so let's write this down. Okay, so I'm going from my house
To North London. Not Tottenham.
Okay, so I'm going from my house. Okay, I'm going from my house to North London. Yeah? And then this is the boundary of the city. Boundary of the city. Okay? Actually, no, you don't need that. Okay. So Danielle, on my way there, will I be a traveller? Will I be a musafir? Will I be a musafir on my way
Too
there?
short to see.
So I'm travelling 50 miles.
Yeah.
So on the whole way, let's say I pray Dhuhr and Asr on the journey. Will I pray 2 rakats or 4 rakats?
Where's the boundary?
You don't understand the boundary. From here to North London is 50 miles.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll pray short, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dhuhr will be short? Yeah.
Yeah.
2 rakats. Dhuhr will be 2 rakats, and Asr will be 2 rakats. This is my journey there. And I stay here for 3 weeks. So, Adam, within my stay in North London, will I shorten my salahs? Will I pray like normal?
Very like normal.
So, what will I be called in the Arabic terminology when I reach there? Muqim. So, I'll consider myself as a resident of London for 3 weeks. So, I'm a muqim and no longer musafir. Does that make sense?
What's a resident?
Resident is a person that stays there. So, you're a resident of Chatham because you stay in Chatham.
I live.
Yeah, so if you stay at a place for 15 days or more, Islamically you're like a resident there. You're no longer a traveller. Yeah.
I'm the
So
president.
is it the same? Like if you're like driving home, yeah, and like from North London, yeah, is it still shortened salah?
Okay, yeah, so that's what I'm about to explain next. So, let's say after 3 weeks you leave North London. Soon as you leave the boundary of the city and you're going back, until you reach all this journey, you'll shorten your salah. Yeah? You'll pray qasr all the way.
But you can't.
Because soon as you leave the boundary of the city, when I leave North London and I've intended to go back home, have I made the intention to travel 48 miles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I have, isn't it? So now the same will apply. When I leave the boundary of my city and I've intended to travel for more than 48 miles, I'm going to be a musafir along the journey. But as soon as I arrive in Medway, can I still shorten my salah?
No.
No, because as soon as you arrive in
It's your boundary.
your boundary, you're no longer a traveller. Because let's say we live in Chatham or Rochester, we can't say I'm a traveller. We're still in Medway. We're residents in Medway, isn't it?
What if like you're going to, let's just say North London, and then you go to someone else's house for 16 days, and then you go to North London, would you be a musafir the whole way?
So the person that you go to first, their house isn't 48 miles, it's like 30 miles.
Oh, okay.
And then the journey after that's another 30 miles.
Yeah, but you stay there for 15 days.
Okay, so good question. So let's say you're going, so let's change this. Okay, so let's say you go over here first, and you stay over here, yeah? For 15 days.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, when you go there, and you're going to become a resident there, you haven't made intention to travel for more than 48 miles, and you've also planned, so you won't be a musafir there. Since you're going to become a resident there, isn't it? As soon as you get there, you're a resident, isn't it? Because you're going to stay there for 50 days?
Yeah.
So you're going to be a resident there. And you haven't made an intention to travel for more than 48 miles. So you will not be a musafir there. Does that make sense?
Okay, but then what if the
And
travel to North London
Yeah,
is
and what-
less than 48?
yeah, when you travel to North London, which is less than 48, what will happen is you have to look at this distance. So if this is, let's say, only 30 miles, have you made intention to travel for 48 miles?
To do the whole thing, you have.
Yeah, but because you're staying there for 15 days, you're going to have to look at 2 journeys now.
Okay, what if you plan to stay there for 14, but let's say, like, you stay there for another day?
Okay, so,
Plan-
so if you originally planned there to stay for 14 days, then once you go there, will you be a muqim or still a musafir?
Musafir.
Musafir. So
Well,
you're
no,
going
you
to...
wouldn't because it's not 48 miles.
Okay, but that's just like a stop-off point, isn't it? On the way to that journey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So because you haven't made the intention to become a resident there, you've made the intention as a stopping point on the way. And while you're traveling, you can make stopping points, not a problem. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
The only problem is when you intend to stay there for 15 days. Because now you just become a resident, isn't it? Does that make sense? Did you understand your question? Did everyone understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, go on, Adam.
What if, so you go to a place, plan to stay there for, say, 10 days, but then something happens, you get held back for another 10 days. Yeah, so you don't know, like, they're just saying stay one more day, and then for, like, say, the
From
17th day, or, like, the 16th to the 20th, do you, like, so you've been praying for Salah before, what do you pray then? Just normal, go back to normal Salah?
You know
Okay.
who does that? From
You
the
didn't
dishes.
intend to do it, like, stay.
Okay.
I'm not even lying.
So what you'll actually do in that situation is you'll still continue to pray qasr because you haven't made an intention to stay for 15 days. You just made the intention to stay, let's say, 10 days. So let's say I intended to go somewhere and stay for 10 days. Simon, you looking? Listen.
I mean,
So I intend to stay at the place for 10 days. So I'm a traveller, isn't it? I'm a Musafir. Then they kept on saying to me, okay, stay one more day. And I thought, okay, I'll stay one more day. So I'll still do qasr. Then I'll stay another day because they kept on requesting me. So I stayed another day. And like that, I kept on increasing. Every time, I'll still pray qasr because I did not make intention of staying here for 15 days. I'll still keep on doing qasr. Does that make sense?
no.
Only when you make the intention, okay, I'm staying here for 15, I'm going to be staying here for another 15 days, only then you start doing qasr. Does that make sense?
That's Bangladeshis, man.
So that's why in business people, sometimes let's say the manager sends them to Germany to do some business. And they don't know how long they're going for. Whether they're going to stay there for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 5 months.
10 years.
They're just waiting for a phone call from their boss to tell them that, okay, your job's done, come back to UK. Every single day that they're there, they're going to do qasr. Because have they made the intention to stay in Germany for 15 days?
No.
No, because they're just waiting for a phone call. They can go today, they can go tomorrow, they can go next week. They haven't made the intention to stay for 15 days. So they'll just keep doing qasr. Does that make sense? So you only become a resident when you say to yourself, I'm staying here now, I've made the intention to be staying here for 15 days or more. Only then you're considered resident. If you haven't made that intention, you still keep on doing qasr.
I'm
Yeah.
like traveling.
What if you're staying like for 10 days,
Hmm.
yeah, and then you get requested for another 5, you say fine, I'll stay for 15 days, yeah, but you only made intention for the extra 5, would you still pay qasr on the,
Yeah,
would you still pay qasr?
you'll still pay qasr because you haven't made the intention of the full 15 days.